I remember the night I arrived at the Black Hollow Motel. Rain lashed against the windshield, the wipers struggling to keep up. My knuckles were white on the steering wheel as if I could hold myself together by sheer force. I had driven for hours without stopping. I didn't have a destination, only the need to escape. And when I saw the flickering neon sign that read vacancy, something inside me whispered, "This is where it ends." I parked under a sagging carport, the building looming before me like a sleeping giant. The front office reeked of cigarettes and mildew. A bell sat on the counter, and when I rang it, the manager emerged from the back room. He looked wrong. His smile was too practiced, his eyes too empty. "Room 9, he said, sliding a brass key across the counter. Far end of the hall. No neighbors. Perfect. The hallway was narrow and dimly lit. Carpets faded and stained, wallpaper peeling like sunburnt skin. Room 9 was the last door on the left. I slipped the key in and opened it. Inside, everything felt still. Too still. The air was heavy, thick like syrup. The lamps didn't brighten the space so much as struggle to hold back the darkness. I dropped my duffel bag on the floor, sat on the edge of the bed, and stared at the wall. I don't remember falling asleep, but I remember waking up. Only, I wasn't in my body. I floated above it, watching myself lay stiff on the bed, eyes wide open in terror. My mouth gaped, as if I had died mid-scream, but no sound came out. I was dead. Panic rose inside me. But it couldn't reach my face, my lungs, my heart, because they weren't mine anymore. I was just a presence now, a thought echoing in the dark. I tried to move. Nothing. Tried to scream. Silence. I was stuck, anchored, trapped in room 9. Days passed. Weeks. Maybe years. Time bent and blurred. The motel stayed open a while. Guests came and went. I watched a salesman cry quietly each night, whispering to someone who wasn't there. A woman painted strange symbols on the wall with lipstick before vanishing in the night. A teenage boy carved the word help into the nightstand, over and over until his fingers bled. None of them could see me, but they felt me. And the room changed them, like it changed me. One night, I noticed something new. A crack in the wall, behind the dresser. No one ever moved the dresser, but one drunk guest did. He dragged it aside, looking for an outlet. He found the crack. I watched him press his ear to it. He winced, then smiled. "I hear you," he said. He carved the crack wider. From it came a draft cold, foul, ancient. Something had been hidden there. Not just me. The motel started to rot from the inside. Mold spread, paint peeled, and the guests who entered room 9 began leaving quicker. Some didn't stay the night. Some never checked out. One man burned all his clothes in the parking lot before running into the woods naked, screaming about the teeth in the walls. Then the motel shut down. Years passed. Silence returned. Until one night, I heard footsteps. Young voices. Flashlights flickering. Urban explorers. They came looking for ghosts. They found me. One girl laughed and said, "Let's try room 9. That's the one from the story, right?" She opened the door. She stepped inside. She turned to her friends, and I watched the door slam shut behind her. They banged, screamed. The knob wouldn't turn. She stood still, breathing hard, looking around. "Who's there?" I moved. For the first time in decades, I moved. She turned toward the cracked mirror above the dresser, and for just a second, she saw me. Really saw me. Her scream cracked the silence like thunder. The door finally burst open. Her friends dragged her out. She wouldn't speak for days. They posted about it. Videos, stories. Room 9 became an urban legend. But no one ever told the full story. No one knew the truth. I didn't die alone. I wasn't the only thing in that room. The thing in the wall ... It watches me too. I remain, no matter how many guests flee in terror. No matter how often the door creaks shut and the dust resettles, I remain. And room 9 remembers too. It hungers for memory. For fear. For repetition. It was quiet for weeks after the newlyweds ran screaming into the night. Until she came. She was older, mid-40s maybe. Worn down, but sharp-eyed. She walked in like someone looking for answers, not rest. Her name was Karen Delaney. I remember because she said it out loud while checking her recorder. Karen Delaney, journalist, investigating the 1994 disappearance of Daniel Price. That name, my name. My heart what's left of it twisted inside me like a phantom knot. She was here for me. She set up her tripod, her camera, a digital recorder. She unpacked boxes of documents, photos, and something that made the air around me grow colder, a cracked, burned motel key. Room 9. I remember now. That night. Flames. Screaming. Me, choking on smoke. And something else, something behind the fire, something watching. Karen lit a cigarette with trembling hands. She was afraid, but curious, and curiosity that feeds it. That night, she sat in the room, talking to her recorder like it could protect her. Locals say the motel's cursed, that people go missing. But I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in stories. And this one, it's personal. I tried to show myself. A flicker in the TV, a whisper in the radio static. She ignored it. So the room tried. The mirror was first. It never lies. It remembers the true shapes of things. She looked into it only for a moment and she flinched. I thought I saw someone standing behind me. She turned. Nothing. Except me. Always me. Then, the doorknob rattled. Karen gasped. Nobody. She returned and found the words "Stay away" written in steam on the bathroom mirror. She screamed. She was getting too close. She stayed a second night. That's when the voices began. Not mine. His, the one who lives in the walls. I don't know what it is. A remnant? A shadow? A soul that never was? It whispers in a language that doesn't belong in this world. I've tried to fight it before. I've tried to protect others. But I'm not strong enough. Karen sat at her desk, listening to her audio playback, and froze. There was a voice beneath her voice. He's still here. She rewound. Listened again. Clearer this time. Behind you. She spun around, saw nothing. But something saw her. That night, she dreamed of fire. Of a man burning. Of me screaming. She dreamed of room 9 screaming with me. And she didn't wake up screaming. She woke up smiling. That's when I knew. She was becoming part of the room. They all do eventually. Unless I stop it. So I reached deeper than I ever had. I reached into the mirror's memory, into the moment of my death. I made it replay the fire. The walls charred. The carpet smoldered. The scent of smoke. Suddenly real. Karen collapsed, choking, sobbing. She begged the door to open, but it wouldn't. Not until she said my name. Daniel, please, help me. And the door opened. I don't know how. But for the first time since I died, I opened it. Karen escaped. She never looked back. But she left her camera. And on it, when the footage was recovered, they saw it, me. Just a frame. Just a shadow. But I was there. And now, the room is quiet again. Waiting. But not for long. Because someone else is coming. And this time, the room wants more than memory. I never wanted to burn. But the fire, it never left. Even now, I feel it licking my skin. Again and again, like a memory refusing to die. And in room 9, memories never die. They feed something alive. She came back. Karen Delaney. Not in person, but in voice. 2 weeks after she fled room 9, someone else checked in. A man in his 20s, Leo, I think. The motel owner didn't ask questions. He never does. He's learned to forget. Leo was a fan of ghost stories. He heard about Karen's viral podcast. He wanted to see it for himself, so he brought her audio with him. Played it. Loud. That was his first mistake. They remembered her voice, and they responded. Leo laughed. He set up his phone to record, pacing the room like an excited kid. I'm here, guys. Room 9. The one from Karen Delaney's story. And tonight, I talked to Daniel Price, me. He wanted me. He didn't understand. It's never just me. That night, he fell asleep with the recorder on, with her voice playing back over and over. Black Hollow Motel. Room 9. Disappearance. Fire. The air turned cold, then hot, then wrong. The recorder hissed. The walls pulsed. The light bulb above him burst, and the room went black. He awoke to the sound of scraping from behind the dresser. Something moving. He whispered, Daniel, but I wasn't there. It was. The thing in the walls, what once fed on me, was now awake. The scraping grew louder, closer, until Leo saw the wallpaper peel away in long, slow curls, and beneath it eyes. Not human, not whole, just watching. He screamed, grabbed his phone, ran for the door. It wouldn't open, not until the thing had its say. The lights flickered back on. But room 9 had changed. The floor blackened, charred.
Like the night I died. Leo turned and saw himself in the mirror.
But not himself. In the glass, his face was blistered, melting.
Smoking. He tried to smash the mirror, but it wouldn't break.
He screamed again until something whispered back, "We remember you." But it wasn't talking to him.
It was talking to me.
The thing in the walls knows me.
Because it made me.
It was there before the fire. It whispered to me too.
Told me I wasn't alone.
Told me if I just let go, I'd never hurt again. And I did. I let go. And I burned.
Now, it wanted Leo.
It showed him what it showed me, the future. A loop. Endless.
Burning.
Suffocating. Screaming.
He ran to the bathroom. Locked himself in.
But the mirror was already fogged.
And words appeared again. You are the fire now.
He didn't make it out.
At least, not all of him.
The next morning, the motel staff found room 9 empty. Leo's phone was on the bed.
Still recording. The footage, just silence.
Until the last second, when a voice not mine whispered, "He's not alone anymore." And then a laugh. Not human. Not even close.
I am still here.
But now, so is he.
Not Leo. The thing that used to be Leo.
And the room hungers more than ever.
The last shot from the phone's camera caught it all.
The mirror. The reflection.
Me, burning.
And behind me, a shape long, twisted, smiling wide. Watching.
Do you know what's worse than being trapped? Being trapped with something that remembers you. After Leo, the room grew quiet again. Room 9.
But quiet doesn't mean safe. It means waiting.
Someone else came. A woman this time. Morgan.
Late 30s.
Alone.
But not for long. She was running from something.
I could feel it in the way her hands trembled.
In how she kept checking her phone, but never made a call. Her soul was frayed like a candle flickering too close to wind.
She checked in without a smile.
Asked for any room but 9.
So, of course, he gave her 9.
He always gives them 9. She hesitated outside the door.
I watched her fingers twitch before unlocking it.
The moment she stepped inside, the air changed.
I could feel it ripple through me. Like static crawling under burnt skin. She didn't see me, but it did.
That night, she cried in the bathroom. Not loud. The kind of cry that sounds like you're trying to hold yourself in. As if the sadness might spill out and drown everything.
I wanted to help her, but I can't speak.
Not anymore. I only remember.
And she was about to remember something she'd never known.
2:39 a.m. The closet door creaked open.
Morgan didn't notice.
She was asleep, one hand under her pillow.
The other still clutched her phone. From the darkness of the closet, something moved.
Not footsteps. Dragging.
Like wet rope being pulled across wood.
She woke to the smell of smoke. There was none, of course. But room 9 always remembers me.
And it wants others to feel it.
Morgan sat up.
Her eyes wide.
Breath short. She whispered, "No, no. Not again." What was she seeing? Not fire.
Her own memories.
This room, it pulls them out like teeth. She saw her sister's overdose. The guilt. The time she didn't answer the phone. And then she saw something worse.
Me, burning.
Standing in the mirror. Reaching out. Screaming but no sound.
Only fire. She ran to the door.
It didn't open.
Of course it didn't.
The handle melted in her hand.
She screamed just like I did. But screaming only feeds it.
And the thing in the wall began to whisper, "It's not your fault." She turned, looking for the voice. It wasn't mine. It was her sister's.
But dead.
Soft, sweet, rotting. The floor began to bubble, boil.
Smoke seeped through the cracks like black fingers curling up to her knees. I reached for her.
For a moment, I think, she saw me. The real me. Not the ghost. Not the fire. Just Daniel. She blinked and whispered, "What are you?" I couldn't answer. Because the walls had already answered for me. He burned. And so will you. That's when the door opened.
Not the one she tried.
Not the front. The closet. And from inside, something stepped out. Not human. Not whole.
Not her sister.
Something made of ash and guilt and memory.
And it wore my scream on its face. She fell backward. Tried to crawl under the bed.
But room 9 has no under, only down. She was pulled. Not by hands. By the room itself. The carpet opened like a wound and swallowed her. Gone.
No blood.
Nobody. Just silence. And the mirror. Still fogged.
Still whispering. Now, I'm not the only one trapped. She's here too. I see her sometimes.
In the reflection.
Or in the whispers.
Sometimes she screams. Sometimes she sings.
But always, she's burning.
Just like me.
There's a door in the basement. You can't see it.
No one ever sees it until it wants to be seen.
But I know it's there, because that's where I died. Room 9 was never supposed to exist.
Not on the blueprints, not in the records, not in the minds of those who built this place.
But it was always here, buried beneath the wood and concrete. A room that doesn't belong in this world.
After Morgan vanished, the room went quiet again, but I could feel it shifting.
Changing. It's always changing.
Like it's alive, like it's dreaming. And this time, it was dreaming of him. His name was Marcus, mid-40s.
Quiet.
Too quiet.
He didn't flinch at the peeling wallpaper, didn't comment on the strange smell, didn't even blink when he got room 9.
That's when I knew he'd been here before. He opened the door and whispered, "I'm back." No hesitation.
No fear. He knew what waited for him, and he wanted it. He sat in the center of the room,
cross-legged. But not to God. Just a symbol scratched into the leather, a circle with 3 nails. He was calling it the thing in the walls. And the floor began to bleed. Dark red, thick.
It bubbled between the floorboards and ran toward him, circling his body like a ritual.
And that's when the walls opened. The walls.
They peeled back like skin, and behind them stairs, leading down.
He stood, still chanting.
He walked down those impossible stairs.
And I followed, because I had no choice.
No lights.
Only shadows, and whispers.
I heard my mother.
Then Morgan.
Then my own scream. They echo here.
Forever. At the bottom, another door. It was made of something else.
It pulsed.
Like a heart.
He pressed his hand to it, and it opened.
Inside, a room that shouldn't exist.
Black walls.
No corners.
No ceiling. No floor.
Just space and him. He was waiting. The man with no eyes. No mouth. Just a face shaped like grief. He didn't speak. He didn't move.
But I knew.
He remembered me, and I remembered burning.
Marcus dropped to his knees.
Sobbing. He begged for forgiveness. "I'm sorry, I didn't know they were still inside." The man didn't react.
Only raised his hand.
And suddenly, Marcus wasn't alone. From the walls came figures. People, burned, twisted,
screaming. Me.
Morgan.
Others. Dozens of us.
Trapped. Echoes.
He reached out to us, but his hand passed through like smoke.
Then the room began to close. The walls folded inward.
The space shrank. The light vanished.
And I was yanked back up the stairs, through the walls, into room 9.
But Marcus didn't come back.
And the door was gone. The hotel staff swore no one checked in under his name. No one ever had.
But I saw him. He knew what he was doing.
He wanted to reach whatever lives below.
He opened a door no one should ever find.
And now the door is open. The man with no eyes is coming up. They checked in just after midnight.
No luggage. No ID.
No name. Just a whisper at the front desk. "Room 9, please." But room 9 wasn't available.
Because room 9 wasn't supposed to be real. Yet, somehow, the system blinked once and printed a key card.
Staff didn't notice, but I did. And so did he. She walked in slowly.
Mid-30s, long dark coat.
No expression. No shadow. The cameras didn't catch her face. Only static. She never blinked. Never looked around. Like she had already memorized the layout of the building in a past life. Or in someone else's dream. She opened the door to room 9 without hesitation. But something was wrong.
She didn't seem curious or scared. She seemed expected.
She stood in the center. Same place Marcus had, same pose. And said only 3 words, "I am here." That's when I felt it. The pressure. Like the air had weight.
Like reality was bending inward.
The walls turned black.
The windows vanished.
The ceiling cracked. And he began to rise. The man in the basement.
No eyes.
No mouth. But now, he had a voice. It didn't come from him.
It came from inside the walls.
From under my skin. From the bones of the building. "You brought the vessel," the voice said. And she replied, calmly, "I bring what's owed."
Then she split. Her body peeled in two, like paper tearing, revealing nothing inside. No blood. No organs.
Only fog.
Black fog that spilled out, consuming the bed, the floor, the walls. Me. I screamed.
But no sound came out.
She wasn't a guest.
She was a gate. And from that gate, he stepped out. Not the man from the basement, but something wearing his shape. Taller. Wrong.
crooked like he didn't know how to use the body.
He moved like a puppet with half its strings cut. Each step warped the wood beneath him. He stood in the mirror.
And my reflection vanished.
Then he turned to the door. He was leaving the room, leaving the basement,
Coming upstairs.
into the rest of the hotel.
I tried to stop him, to scream, to pull the fire alarm, to slam the door shut.
But I'm just a ghost, and he is something older. He passed through the hallway. Each light shattered. Each painting bled.
The fire extinguishers turned to ash,
Room by room, he moved, not touching anything.
but changing everything.
Guests started waking in cold sweat. Some cried. Some ran. Some never woke at all.
Then he found the child. Room 217.
A little girl, maybe 6.
She sat up in bed, rubbed her eyes and whispered, "You're the man from my dream." He knelt beside her.
And for the first time, he smiled. Not with his face, with the walls.
They curved inward, warm and red, pulsing like a heartbeat.
And he reached toward her forehead,
I threw myself at him,
but passed right through, useless. A scream trapped in a memory.
and then he stopped.
His head tilted. He looked at me, not through me, at me.
"You don't belong here either," the voice said.
Not hers, not his, mine. Spoken from his mouth, and I remembered something I wasn't supposed to remember.
The truth about how I died.
It wasn't an accident. It wasn't the fire. I was chosen, not as a victim, but as the first gate. And now the second gate has opened. He vanished after that,
Left nothing behind but the girl, still asleep, still smiling.
and the fog still rising.
Room 9 is empty again,
But the door won't close. Not this time.
because he's out now, and he's looking for me. Or maybe he's looking for you. I thought he was gone.
That whatever rose from room 9 had disappeared into the dark corners of the world.
But ghosts don't get to hope. We only get to watch.
And I saw him again in a mirror. Not in room 9, not in the hallway, but in the lobby, surrounded by guests. Only none of them could see him.
Except the mirrors.
And me. It began slowly.
The first mirror fogged up from the inside. No one had touched it.
No heat.
No breath.
And then a handprint appeared.
From the wrong side. My reflection didn't move.
It just stared back at me, like it remembered something I didn't. Then it smiled, but I didn't. That wasn't me.
The lobby lights flickered.
The piano in the corner began to play. Soft, off-key. The tune of an old lullaby I hadn't heard since I was a child, or maybe since I died. And then the guests started to change.
Not all at once.
Just one.
A man in a grey coat. He looked into the hallway mirror and froze. His reflection raised its hand.
He didn't.
It leaned closer.
It whispered something.
Then his eyes rolled back.
And he walked away, stiff like a puppet.
I tried to follow.
But every step closer made me forget where I was.
I blinked, and I was in the basement again.
The chains were gone, the furnace cold, but he was there, sitting, facing the wall, but not moving. He was watching something. It was me on the wall, a shadow version of me, playing like a film reel. Scenes I never remembered living, conversations I never had.
But they were mine. They were planted.
This place remembers, he said without turning.
But memories aren't loyal.
He stood up, but his back cracked as if he'd grown too tall for the world.
You were supposed to forget. But mirrors remember.
Mirrors always remember.
Then he turned, and his face was mine.
Not twisted, not evil, just empty.
Like a mask I used to wear. I screamed, but no sound.
Just cracks appearing across every surface.
The wall behind him fractured.
The air pulsed, and the hotel above began to shift.
Mirrors across the building shattered. Guests screamed. Some saw flashes of their own deaths.
Others visions of things crawling behind them.
One woman fainted after seeing her own face aged 300 years, whispering, "Don't open the closet."
The manager tried calling the police, but all he heard was, "The line you were calling remembers you." And then static. I saw her again, the woman from part 6, or what was left of her. She was crawling on the ceiling of room 217, eyes hollow, mouth stitched with silver thread, and yet I heard her whisper, "The third gate is almost open." That night, 11 people checked out. 3 went missing.
One never existed on the guest list.
And the little girl in room 217, she drew a picture of the mirror,
With a face that wasn't hers.
with my name written under it.
Now, the mirrors in this place don't reflect the present.
They replay your worst day, your hidden thoughts, or worse, his face wearing yours.
They say spirits don't have reflections.
But they're wrong. We do. We just don't control them anymore. He does.